Keep that straight in, see the dog. Alright, here we go. Alright, so here we go. Take two.
Take two. This is what happens in the studio. You get, something's not working, you take two. So we're live. Man Talk, Barbershop, in the barbershop. And to be honest, men do talk in the barbershop. This is one of our open spaces where we can be real, honest, vulnerable, and talk about some of the stuff that we have to deal with. We see how the system is today, where no discrimination, but women are pushed higher than men. We just want to share about some of the things that we have to deal with. We are going to talk about some of the challenges that we see going on with our young black man. We want to find solutions to change the mindset and get out of this gang activity, gang behavior. Now, it's not going to happen overnight. We know that. We're going to see pushback. We saw that the last time. We're dealing with, yes, physical and spiritual elements in all this activity. So he who is spiritual, step up, pray, get on your knees. The mic is open. We're going to bring in Kendricks, my assistant. Kendricks, have a few words.
Good day, everyone. Yes, welcome back to Man Talk in the Barbershop. Assalamu alaikum to all the brothers that are here. Yes, it's good to see brothers from all walks of life being able to come and want to open up and have some discussion on topics that has been long overdue. Many times we feel men are being held back from being able to open up and speak. So it's good to see that Brother Pudgy and Brother Tay has allowed for this barbershop to be a place that we can use to get this platform rolling. Here we are with season 1 and episode 2, ready to start and kick off. And the topic is solutions with the gang violence. You know, we have seen our island go through a state of change and state of crisis that it has never seen before. Many of us have been sitting back by the wayside, holding our tongues. Many of us want to speak up. Many of us are afraid to speak up. But if we're really looking for change, then now is the time we need to start opening up, having open dialogue, and being able to also welcome our young men to want to very much connect with us, open up where they can get off their chest stuff that's making them hurt, that's making them want to go out there and hurt others. Like Brother Trevor just said, the mic is open. The next person is looking to want to come and shed light on what they feel are solutions to some of our gang violence. Here it is for you.
I just got a question, man. Not even like more so a question, but more so like a. Now let's start off correctly. How are we gonna have a solution if we don't understand the start of it? In a sense, like, feel me? We can like strategize to go against something that we don't understand as yet. So like, honestly, like we guys look at like trying to like cancel out gang violence from a street angle. Then it's already been said and done. Like guys already shooting, guys already getting in jail, guys already feeling pain and all that there. Honestly, some days you got that right, but not even that right there. Just feel like we're looking for to correct the wrongdoings rather than prevent it from the beginning. I say, for instance, now, right? This just my thoughts and my opinions on how things are started out. Like, when we guys growing up now, right? No one will just wake up one morning like, I'm from town, I'm from South, I'm from 4-2, nothing like that. They're born into it indirectly, like, feel me? For instance, I'll say this for sense. If Pudgy was to play for some situations, from he's like 6 years old, his coming up, that's when his team is growing up with, feel me? Indirectly, he's going to be a some guy. Then you got guys that say, I'm from Camp U. I play for Rangers. I'm under 6. I'm a Southampton guy, Rangers boy. So the Denny town now. Right? That's the town, but it's 3 different hoods right there in a sense. At that age bracket, you don't know what you are going to be yet. They just playing around with your little friendly friends and all that there. So now I grew from under sixes to primary school, and then you're on your primary school for 6 years. That right there just built on your friendship. You go to middle school after there. So Pudgy goes from Somerset Primary to Sam's. He's still around there seeing like-minded friends that he grew up with. I go from from Heron Bay or Pedro Primary to Spice Valley. Right. That would still be categorized me as my country person. That's Cedar Hill, Collar Pass, Southampton Rangers over that time period. Right. And then you got, let's say, Dogwood, right, where you catch all your tongue guys. So from that right there still, you probably start understanding yourself differently. Like, yeah, these are my friends, these are the nature right there. But it's still not implementing your here like, I'm a tongue guy, I'm a South guy, I'm a West guy. Until you get to high school. Right. You get into high school now, what is it now? You get around, I see Pudgy from afar, like, everybody's saying, oh, Somerset guys. Indirectly, you're going to label him as a West guy one time. Here's for West guy. I'm hanging around guys from our Cedar Hill, Collar Pass, and Rangers. So now I'm just a straight up country guy. Right. And then you have to have tomboys.
You might not even have nothing to do with it.
Have nothing to do with it.
Just by guilty by association.
Right. And that's what creates your gang right there. Feel me?
Oh, your boy is cool with, you know what I mean?
Right, and that's what creates your gang right there. You're hanging around your friends that you grew up with. Right. So then, let's say, for instance, now Pudgy gets an education with one of the guys that came, it was in my primary school, or middle school. Now, Pudgy's friends are going to back him. Right. I'm getting back mine. Right. So now it's not just, oh yeah, Pudgy getting so now. It's just from her. You go to sports days and all that there. They got Whitney against Spice Valley. They got Dalwood against this. You got that. You're already been implemented as far as like go against competitors. So now already is you can take it as a manly thing now, and you're gonna try to fight now. So now already got Pudgy now. It's fighting against someone that's started work. Somerset and South. That's the other, for instance. No, that's gonna blow up. Now that's just a school thing. I mean, one-on-ones here, one-on-ones there. I might beat him today. He might beat me tomorrow. What's gonna happen? You got the last fight before you guys graduate. So now we got on the streets now. You hear me? Now we got you know on the streets now. Right. So now I'm just outside now. You hear me? I see Pudgy coming around with grocery shop in our marketplace. I might want to swing one of them there because Pudgy beat me up last time. I'm with my other little 4 brothers because we was not missing chicken getting food. Now I was like, oh, this is a big war now. Pudgy gonna be sick money. Pudgy gonna know it, but I'm not getting on the road because everyone wants to have a knife on them. And actually, you know, because I'm gonna pick on Pudgy inside my hood now. My hood. I'm not thinking it's my hood from when I was inside like Rangers, Heron Bay or Hedge Primary thing up until this time now. Until it's in my space now, feel me? Now it's in my hood. So I'm going to go down there with my little 3 other brothers. Pudgy's going to defend himself by stabbing me. So now it's blood involved. No one wants to get even in life. Because now that goes back to equal like we spoke on last time. We want to go above and beyond to overcome that last one. To show the next man, don't test me no more. Because that's what we was taught directly. Someone hits you, hit them back. You hear me? Defend yourself. Yeah, don't turn. You hear me? So now I heard it. Mike, so now I heard it. Yeah, all that there comes into play right there. Yeah, you can go tell on him and you can go fight him. You feel me? So now I heard it is. I'm going to go gloved up now. I'm taking a ride across the bridge. And I'm in hopes of trying to find Pudgy. The person he always looking for never really gets found. So next time I bump into someone else. I'm been out there 3 nights straight and I ain't found Pudgy yet. So next thing I'm going to hurt someone else.
So basically, the resolution is peace. You know what I mean?
The resolution is understanding, first of all, yes.
But
comes to peace, yes.
The person has to find peace within themselves to forgive.
But
sometimes, I'm hurt, guys. I ain't forgiving your boy. But man, I'm going to take out the whole crew. You know what I mean? So we have to look for peace within. You know what I mean?
But you got to understand what you're sacrificing things too. Because
even though, right, but it takes the bigger man to be like, all right, I'm gonna humble myself.
Okay, what I'm saying, I see what you're saying, like, right? That's peace for you now. But you're not realizing the domino effect that beginning that Tay just gave like a good example of, how that trickles down to the next generation. So you got, say Tay, his situation is what he just gave us. But now he's got a nephew or a little cousin or something that by default hang around him who's went through his own trials and tribulations to get to where he is. But now it's like, yo, you're my nephew, you're in this shit by default. See what I mean? So there's like things like that. Yeah, and that's all like, it's a domino effect, man. And then if you create peace for yourself, what is God? You know what I mean? He ain't got the same peace that you got because his and as generations go on, a lot of people start thinking differently too. So now it's like where this older generation might have did their own things or whatever, but this new generation is more tired. So their approach to things is a little different. It's not like oh, I'm gonna see you, I'm gonna fight you. It's not when I see you, I'm trying to drag you down. You know what I mean? It's a little different. Like, so it's like as generations go on, it's like the understanding factor that you're talking about kind of. I don't want to say it gets eliminated, but it gets tainted because now it's like, yeah, it gets water. You know what I mean? Because now it's like, well.
Just saying basically that okay, it's carrying on because nobody wants to end it.
I wouldn't say that nobody wants to end it. I think people might want to end it, but I think like for you, okay. So let's go back to how Tay described it. For him, it was circumstances. You know, it's circumstances in life, your people you grew up with, your area you was born to. You know what I mean? Things like that. Damn circumstances created you into the man you are. But then the next generation, it might not be so circumstance based. It might just be like, this is what you grew up. This is who you are. And now it's like instead of that, you see how you're born into this. So instead of you saying, oh, you defend yourself, now it's like, nah, I love this. You know what I mean? This is what some people live for. This. You know what I mean? So you can't approach somebody who's living for these streets the same as somebody who's in the streets by circumstance. You know what I mean? The thinking on is gonna be different. Yeah, the mentality is gonna be different. Like, you know.
It's pretty much what the basis like back on what London said. It's more or less like what London it's saying. It's piggyback on what Ted said and what London said. As it trickles down, you look at it now, killer. Like my generation, I got licks, I got hit, I done something stupid, all scared to get hit. You gotta talk about like 30 minutes to get a project. Me tell you what I'm talking about. It's just like nowadays, a lot of these guys don't. It's like like a lot of these. Let's say you have youth that's willing to learn, right? And then you have people that's in the position that don't want to help them or help them go forward. So it's like no, as a trickle on that effect, it's like I don't owe nobody nothing. I don't owe you this certain respect. So it's like I'm getting on my end now. You approach me wrong. I say I don't understand it. Well, we're gonna deal with it. I mean, we'll rate her where it is.
So like coming back to the solution was like now having an understanding of how it starts, you can know how to attack things. You have to accept the fact that whoever's raiding the streets right now are raiding the streets. Like, feel me? They gotta accept that right there. Feel me? You can't be out there. Right? They gotta accept it. But you gotta know with knowing the acceptance, like they're turning your back on them, is that you gotta let them come to it. Feel me?
It all falls down to like exactly how you were saying. It's how you was brought up. Like you notice how back then, as when we were younger, things as when we were growing up in primary school and looking at our older siblings and stuff, and saying looking at how the gangs and stuff were going, is not how the gangs are going now. It's because of how we were brought up. You see what I'm saying? Like a lot of we guys, like how they were brought up in the 80s, coming up is a difference how the 90s kids was brought up. And then you go to the 2000 youths. You got people running to the millennium babies. These guys they think off for impulse and stuff. It all falls down to how you were brought up. You see what I'm saying? Piggybacking off what you said.
So like I was saying, not to cut you off there, real quick there, right? I was saying like now I'm understanding like how it's coming into these right now. You could probably how to attack it. So like I was saying, accept the fact that it's gonna be guys on the corner. Like you cannot police or whatever there. That right there, arresting guys and locking them up and sending them away is not gonna clear the streets. In all honesty, right? Everyone wants the overnight game. Oh, let me go arrest 10 guys over there so that they ain't no one in that corner no more. They gotta understand that you gotta let that generation there wash out. Yep. And I say wash out mean they're gonna get old enough sooner or later. I'm like, you know what, bro? I ain't got time to be out there. Feel me? You guys are targeting, not saying you guys, but we guys, as I said, are targeting the wrong people. You're targeting people that's already graduated. Feel me? Why are you trying to put guys that's already graduated back in school? Yeah, go back down to the youngins. Feel me? Go. No, like what you're saying, what we're saying. Like Mayweather was saying. Getting back to like as far as community wise, get everyone back together. Instead of just having, let's say, Rangers and Denny Tom playing on a Saturday against each other, where you're in competing, come together on a Sunday and have a fun day with them. Or have our All Stars on a Sunday, whereas you're mixing the teams together. So by the time they get into primary school or middle school, they already know so-and-so from Dalwood or so-and-so from Don St. George's or so-and-so from up there because they're already been integrated together. So by the time they get into high school together, they're not separated. It's not downward over there. It's not yin over there.
And see, that's why a lot of these sports, like the mainstream family sports, need to be blowing up a lot too. Like a lot of these competitive sports get put on mainstream, and a lot of the family sports where we guys are bringing the youths together, and youths from different neighborhoods all coming together, get washed underneath, get put underneath the mat. For instance, motocross. I see children and it's crazy because I never thought I'd get around a lot of the guys that get around. You see what I'm saying? But just because of scrambling and because of the love we have for our children, guys are darn there. We're getting along. We're getting around each other. You see what I'm saying? Our children are getting around children. You see what I'm saying? Like we grew up. I didn't have the chance to go hang around town like to say town children. You see the same thing with Tay said. You're hanging around the kids that you grew up with. But then when you mainstream things like scrambling, where it is family oriented, where it is for the love for the children, you could bring guys from town and from east and from country and from west to a facility where they could all get along just for the love of the children. You see what I'm saying? Because nobody wants to be fighting in front of their children. Nobody wants to be stabbing nobody up in front of their child. Come on, you see what I'm saying? That's just the realness of it. Put the children. That's what I'm saying. Goes back to the CNN. Put the children up. Put the children first, bro. Go back to the CNN. Tay was saying, start from the youth. Don't start from the guys that's graduated on the street.
Nowadays, I feel like systematically, as a island, as a community in this island, we need to create more, not just outlets like because like sports and different things like that. As Bermudians were already integrated into that from young. For the majority people, as young guys, we play football, girls play netball or whatever it might be. But I feel like that's just one aspect of it where we need to create more opportunities for these youth. You know what I mean? And that goes that's why I said systematically, because I feel like it ain't enough opportunities in position for people to even dream bigger than, the regular dream. You know what I mean? It's like most youths by the age of 13, they don't even want to play ball no more. Or if they do, it's just recreational. It ain't like I believe that I could go play for United. You know what I mean? That dream kind of gets murdered, and I think it's because it ain't enough opportunity being created by people in power for young people to even have the ambition to even dream. You know what I mean? Because at a point it just comes on. You know what? I'm gonna get to finish high school. A lot of maybe girls go. I mean, a lot of people go to university and things like that. Cool, but in terms of creating a dream in sports or music or things like that, it ain't too many opportunities for people. You know what I you know what I mean? So it's what do you do at that point? So we gotta come together and kind of demand more from the government. I want to say in certain aspects. You know what I mean? Exactly, and then they, you know what I mean? And then they want to complain though. I don't get it, man.
A lot of Bermuda's fast athletes and fast could have been should have been lawyers that from people I heard from, hours and stuff. They said they're going to say bottle gets them, life gets say time to go 15, 16, and you're still hurt in school. You got to not saying it can't happen, but if you ain't got the proper support. Regardless, bro, 2 years you gotta work. You got bills to pay, Just the dream just dies.
Yeah, well, I feel that, we have to stay positive regardless, you know what I mean? And just keep it going, you know what I mean? The guys, like you said, the guys that need help, if you can help them, you know what I mean? Don't turn your back on your brothers, because at the end of the day, this gang violence is our problem. You don't see these other guys going around and shooting each other, you know what I mean? It's us. Let's be real. So, in that situation, it's our problem. Let's deal with it. You know what I mean? And come together and let's work together. You know what I mean? We can go forward. We could do more positive. You know what I mean? So that's what we're about right now. Positive. So this year is good.
Gotta find those that always find those a lot of the pen laws too, because everybody has a different pen or a different You know what I mean? It's like you got guys that my brother got killed. I know the so-called area that or people that done it or who's responsible. 10 years, has just been waiting for grow up, get y'all. I could defend what's mine now. So that's not and they got somebody that's
somebody versus like yeah, like Tay said, born in by coincidence, you know, circumstance.
I'm glad you said that. Because I looked at that years ago, where there's children's fathers that died in the 2000s, 15s, up to that era there. They were in primary school. They're now out of high school now. So especially the boys, the anger that they have because this guy killed their daddy, and we had, I think it's over close to 76, almost 80 murders. So a lot of those fathers had children, and if the children are not dealt with emotionally, consult, and all of that, that frustration builds up, and then they got rage and anger, and then they take that to the street because how to release.
I don't want to say take it to the street, but more so they had their friends outside. You know what I mean? I say, for instance, like, I would be stressed out at him. And I want to go over to his house. Feel me? I'll go over there right now, and actually, I'm riding my push to the bike, and I'm over Rangers. Feel me? And then we're just thinking together, like, you know, I'm venting to him. And because he don't know how to express, and because he don't know how to express his emotion, he's just going over hard at it. You know what, bro? I flip. My cousin stays with this person right there. Let's go down there and go do something to him right now. Because that's all we got to, not say talk, but that's all we indirectly know what to do.
My grandpa told me one time, like, oh, if it's like getting in trouble and stuff, we're friends now, but it's like, at a certain time, like, as man, what we don't understand, we try to get rid of. If that makes sense, because it's like a hidden front. Like I understand the now, I don't understand the damn, but like literally, like as you got older, some you don't understand. Like I'm not doing that. Like what is it gonna do? But as man, you guys said, once like ego is involved, pride's involved. So it's like if you feel, well, yeah, you see what I'm saying, okay? It's like something you don't understand, you don't want to wrong, you don't want nothing to do with it. You feel what I'm saying?
Number 4, open up the shop, bro. Yes, one, bro. Nobody's gonna lock up for the shop.
Yeah, give me an outside one.
All right, thank you, bro. Everybody for it?
Yes, Oscar.
Yeah, this is all. I'm come here to really understand because I think I'm much older than you guys. Like I'll be 60 next year. So yeah. So when I grew up, So when I grew up, I didn't. We didn't have gangs on it. So I'm trying to understand this whole landscape. But when we fought, at some primary or wherever school, we went Barkley. There was a fist fight. You lost. That's it. You went home. You accepted it. Like brushed off your lips or whatever. You got busted up, and you lost the fight, and vice versa. Same thing, and it ended right there. It didn't escalate into anything like death or murder or stabbing or gun shooting. That wasn't, I'm not. That's all new to me. So I'm coming to say that Zeke invited me. Said, "Come by. I want to understand so that I could possibly, along with my peer group, be of some assistance and some way of finding a solution to this." Right. Now, I'm a spiritual person. I'm a Christian. I know you guys are Muslim. Most of you guys, right? Yeah. So my whole take on this, from inception, from the very beginning, is that you got to look at the heart of people, right? And my belief teaches that the heart of man is desperately wicked. That's what the scriptures say. That's why you don't have to teach a baby how to do wrong things. Right, it's in the DNA, right? You have to teach your baby how to be good, but you don't have to teach them how to do bad things. So that sort of moves through your pre-teen years, your teen years, young adult, whatnot. The heart of man. Unless we deal with people's hearts and have a change of mind, in other words, repentance, which means if I'm going left, I go in another direction, until we can get to a place where we deal with people's individuals' hearts, to have a heart change of a spiritual nature, to change the heart and minds of men, then this reconciliation could start to happen. Because in and of ourselves, like you can't legislate behavior. Yeah. And like Tay said, you cornered it. You can't make laws and different things. People are who they are because of their nature, and they're going to act out and find ways to do whatever, regardless, right? And so a hard change has to happen. And so I think the challenge is with those that are wherever the mosque, or those that have a spiritual basis and understanding, to impart that spirituality to our young people, so that they're growing up with a fear of God and a fear, we realize that we're one family, not separate families, you know, Dandy Town, Rangers, something like you say. We're just one people. Very important. So, whilst I understand there are intermediate steps to take, like for example, like you still need, Tay said something about having field events, community events where you come together and maybe have a game where it's all mixed in. It's not town against Somerset. It's just, you just pick 11 guys, you 11, you against 11, and things like that. But that's all fine, right?
Yeah, like friends, I say you from a spiritual sense. Instead of you guys having, I say, just your church.
Right, that's right.
I want you guys start, I'm going to learn from your age. You know, some people right here might be, I don't know, like a Clintons or something, or somewhere else. But I say, for instance, from your church, instead of just saying, you know what, let me just throw a fund day for my church, how about you reach out to another church? Bring that church to your church. Feel me? So now that is a bigger thing right here. It's a whole community thing going on. It's not just a one church. It's like, you know what, I'm going to tap into this church right there, I'm going to tap into this church right there, I'm going to tap into this church. This week right here, let's do it at my church. Next week, we do it at you guys' church. Sooner or later, in a few months, you're going to have acquired the whole other in a sense. Now, that's just from a spiritual sense. I can say from football, look, this Sunday, we guys have a few games there. Next Sunday, we got a few games there. Next thing you know, it's giving back. Let's start tapping into like little people that can help out in a sense, like snowball stands and all that there. You guys would rather spend all this money on police or things like that to keep you surrounded or keep you governed or whatever. Instead of just giving some money to the community and say, you know what, let's have some free days for guys. I look at Somerset. Feel me? Somerset will come together and have what's called a free my heart, open my heart thing. Open my heart, everything free. The whole artists are all come for everything free. Why early Somerset got to think of that like things like there? Feel me? Why can't if civilians could do that? Why can't the government come together with all this money that they're not stealing, but coming up with for guys? Yeah, all that there, and just having at least one Sunday in every month as a fun day. I'll give back things. This Sunday will be up Somerset. Next Sunday will be up in Georgia's. And just keep working the way back until you guys come central. Serve every parish. Just open up things of that nature right there because it's not hard. But it's just that we're trying to be cheap. Just like how you don't want no more walk across your yard to get to your next yard. We're being cheap. We're worrying about ourselves. Don't touch my grass. Feel me? I'm like that type of nature right there. We gotta come back together and start. You know what, man? Forget this, sir. My last $10, I'm gonna put with your $10, and we're gonna get Zeke some food.
Right. What's gonna make someone? What is it within the heart of a person that's gonna say, "I want to bridge the gap"? Right? What? You know what I'm saying?
That's what we're trying to find out.
Right.
Yeah, that's why you have these
Just
find out. Just being genuine, just genuine shit like let's say like as man, like you know that something's genuine as human. Like see how you guys say your babies know how to do wrong naturally. Humans have natural instincts for everything. Rather be doing something you're supposed to, showing love. Like there's emotion. So you know you have to say we're gonna find a way to do. You just have to do it. Like you can't. Don't question it. Because if once it feels right, you're gonna know. And if people wanna flip around like help, the ones that gonna help are gonna show. You know what I mean? And then you go from there. You build off for that. For example, you didn't. Connie started small. I'm sure they went big after a while.
Like, it's no different.
You know what I mean?
Just say good afternoon to someone. You know, everyone wants to help out someone, right? I mean, everyone's asking like, "Oh, can we guys do this?" Just do it. You feel me? They ask, "Oh, what happens if the other person don't take to it?" Understand in life that's gonna happen. Not everyone's gonna take to that. There, in all honesty, like we're trying to get everyone to be on one team. It's not gonna happen. It's gonna tip you right over. That's not how life works.
I said that at the open.
You feel me?
I said it. Not everybody.
Not everyone's gonna get it. We're gonna be, and that's where it comes to understand that you cannot correct everything. So, Jamie, if I'm just a good person right there, because I don't feel that you're Jamie towards me, it's not gonna stop me from saying good afternoon to you. You can say good afternoon to me or not. Feel me? You might not say good afternoon to me. The next person I see, I'm gonna say good afternoon again. I'm not gonna let you deteriorate me from being the energy that I'm winning. All of us right now got good energy. All of us can make a stand to something. I go up ranges right now. I tell guys we're not smoking no shadow, because shadow's a real drug. Shadow's a serious drug. And I try to take everyone off by having a knife on their hip, because you go out of the house with a knife in your hip. You're trying to trap that. Sooner or later you're gonna need that knife. So I try to tell everyone is I step my foot down. I'm not wearing a knife on my hip. I'm not going to no club. I don't care if I'm in Torrance, Somerset, or St. George's. I'm not wearing a knife on my hip. And if someone's on the back of my bike, I tell them straight up, you got a knife in the back of your bike door? Don't think I'm pulling chase because you got a knife on you, you know. I'm pulling over. You feel me? So it comes down to just doing things. Yeah, accountability. Stand on these and just do it.
I think the main reason a lot of these issues continue to persist is because we're looking at these things as a one-dimensional problem. This is not one-dimensional. This is multi-dimensional. You guys are talking about a lot of the practical aspects of fixing this, right? But this is psychologically, this is embedded from the culture that they look at every day, all day on the social media. So you could put a lot of these programs and youth stuff in place, but these social media still got their mind. So it's like, how far is what you're doing practically going to really go if
myself. I understand where you're coming from. And when I was in jail, like my first 2 years, all I wanted was just read the paper and see what juicy story I could read on. You got shot, you got in an accident, you done this, sir. I was getting back to like the morgue part, and I was reading like whose families, people died. I don't know why, but that's what I was attracted to. Until I say, you know what, but it's just bringing me negative energy. So why I keep on seeking that type of thing right there? Now, you're saying social media. Social media is not just old toxic, you know. You go into my social media and you look at my Explore page, you can see motivational speeches, things like that. Like, feel me? That's me as an individual. So now I'm trying to show you is now, right? I used to be lad there. Feel me? But it's all about changing your mental. Social media right there, you have everything on social media. You can learn everything from making a bomb to how to make your own business and things of nature right there. But you got to change your mental. So it comes back towards yourself in a sense. And I say we guys all stand up as one and be like, you know what? It's weird for you to be gangster and make being a nerd normal. Sooner or later, though, someone's gonna like, you know what? Even if it's really one gangster, he's gonna keep on coming back here, like we said on last time, and it's gonna start feeling out of place. And it's gonna end up going to him, and he's gonna use social media, and it's gonna learn on social media. Well, he might go on YouTube and learn it over YouTube. That right there, like social media, yes. If you're not at work, it will definitely lead you down to a path because it's anything teaching you, and I'm not burning no shit on nobody, but it's anything teaching you these days and age how to be gay and how to be some shysty stuff towards people. Everything you see right now is gay. And like I said, I'm not good against nothing, I'm just being honest. But if you're not aware of what they're doing, up right there, they ain't gonna fall victim to that. They ain't gonna start thinking it's normal to have gay people around you. Feel me? And it is day in life. It is life to have a gay person in there. But it's not normal to be gay. In a sense, like you wasn't born to be gay, honestly speaking. But because you was around that, or you're seen that there, you indirectly accepted the fact that, okay, gay is okay. So it comes back down to awareness. Social media can stir you that way, but bringing awareness to things that's right there can stop that there.
Well, you have that awareness, right? Because you're older and you develop that awareness with knowledge and studying and stuff like that, right? But the average individual, the average kid, the average teen, literally just goes with the flow, whatever they see everybody else around them doing. So you made up a good point when you said, we gotta make being a real man popular again. We gotta make stuff that's like being a stand-up guy popular again. And that's what's gonna make the guys that's over there in the corner being in the shadows and he's got his hood on, he's gonna feel left out because it's gonna be like, well, that's all real man right there. Why am I over here like some weirdo, like some strange? You feel me? It's glorified to be in trouble. So that's what's keeping everybody in trouble. So it's like wherever your mind goes, your actions follow. So we need to just take the attention or stop glorifying the shooting, the this, the that. So exactly, bro. If, like I said last time we was having this conversation, what are the kids listening to nowadays?
Drill music.
Exactly, drill is the most popular thing. So that's what they're gonna look at and say, well, all my friends are doing it. All my friends are drilling, and drill music is basically like
Gangster music.
Yeah, gangster music.
See, I'm glad you said that because our generation, I ain't got a clue what you're talking about.
Exactly.
Well, I'm telling you, I ain't got a clue what you're talking about. And his 60, I go 62. All right? So, you know what I mean? But we all have different experiences in life. You know, I was telling a few guys the other day, I was brought up on Court Street. It was one part of Court Street I couldn't go down. Down in the hood, in the heart of Court Street, I couldn't go down there. I got slapped upside my head. Get back down that way. You know what I mean? And that's what man on the street, how you used to handle we young guys. You know what I mean? Yes, stand firm.
So, huh? Because that's been the problem on why we have so much young ones glorifying that that lifestyle.
Yeah.
Today we don't have the grown men that are out there in the streets being able to try to look out for the younger child to say, you know what, I don't want to see you take my journey. Let me discourage you. When I was young, my younger brother, he used to get mad because I used to slap him, beat him. He used to be crying all the time and wondering why. But I was like, I didn't want you to take up on this lifestyle, something that I choose. But I don't want you to do this, sir. If you do it, let it be when you're in a court. And you reach your edge, then that's for you to take it up. But I'm not going to encourage you to want to take up that lifestyle. But today, we have so much grown men that are encouraging younger generation kids to take into that lifestyle. And now, this is why we have such a festering problem that has become what it is today.
Last story, I apologize for me as the elders, us as the elders, dropping the ball. We as men need to pick up our game and direct and lead our young people, our young men and females.
It's not at the fault of you or the man though, because it is systematic. It's a systematic disconnect that people's trying to. So
what Trevor's saying is everybody has a choice.
No, that's what I'm saying.
To try to implement something.
So like what Tay was saying is the awareness first from the older generation, and it will just trickle down. We need to start. Remember when we guys were coming up, and it didn't even have to be your daddy. Somebody in the streets will slap you because you're doing something stupid. But exactly. But look at it. It's not even just that. It's in the schools too. A principal used to hit you. You can't get hit by a principal no more. You hit your child in England, you're going to jail. You know, your children could call the police on you in England. So it's a systematic thing that's in place with all this LGBT and bro, they're trying to push all this to keep you guys from elevating. So
that's what I feel what Trump was saying when they say drop the ball in the aspect of make it like the accountability. Like I said, all of Israel, they know they should hold us accountable. All of this, we know that. That makes sense too. And he said something is all they say, take heed. If you don't, you don't. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you can tell me something. You can tell me something all you want.
Yeah.
You've been there, done that. You had your experience, your consequence, or your reward in the situation. You know what I'm saying? So no, it's like you tell my old man tell me, look, don't do this or this. What's gonna happen? As man, we wanna figure it out for. You ain't gonna turn the camera.
I'm not.
But like as men, we want to figure things out for ourselves. So like I said, you're 62. I get 31. That's me twice. Just like you've been in situations that most of us in there have been through, but I want to see it for myself. Like maybe I can handle it more than you. Maybe I could change the math on it. But if that comes, it's like sometimes you have to allow you to make that mistake because you're earning enough rope to hang yourself, and after that, it's like you're learn your lesson after that. That makes sense.
And man that wanna take a stand in this fight needs support, because going back to what we were saying earlier, if it's just one guy that's opening his mouth and saying, "Look, you guys shouldn't be doing," it's gonna be an outcast, and then even parents and stuff's gonna be like, "Look, don't say nothing to my children, don't say nothing to my boy." So it takes support from the other man around to say, "All right, yeah, he's doing the right thing," and then I'm gonna do it the next time I see your boy doing something. I should be able to walk down the street and tell Kide's boy, "Stop doing that." I'm gonna whatever. I'm gonna smack you. I'm gonna whatever. And
smack your boy. Because in real estate, daddy call me.
I tell my son that girl something's a primary. I said to him, "Listen, do you want me to come down your school?" "No, Daddy." "Why not?" "Because you're gonna smack me, and what's gonna happen? It's gonna be embarrassing." He knows. So we, as like I said, we gotta instill fear and respect.
I would say fair, but more so respect and order.
And respect.
You're not penalizing.
Yeah, but the word says you spread the rod, you spoil the child. So we have a lot of spoiled children in this island. In the world, we have a lot of spoiled children. When they took out you can't beat your child, you can't. But tell me I can't smack my child. Put me in court. Put me in court. I'm telling you, something's wrong with that.
But yeah, your child does wrong. They had the ability to lock him up.
Yeah, come on.
To put him through more than just physical pain, but mental pain, emotional pain, spiritual pain, and it bring him a baby. So we had to come back as fathers and accept the fact that we're taking back our children. Feel me? It's not for the system to raise us, it's for the village to raise us. Feel me? That's what it comes down to, things like that. Man, I used to get in trouble, though. I'd be out the road, someone would slap me, though. Not someone slap me, like, someone's auntie would slap me. And then she's calling my granny. And I gotta go over to my granny. I'm like, flip, I wanna go over to my granny. I'm gonna hurt my granny. Oh, do you want to take John? I'm like, flip, man, be cold than me. And I gotta go over here and get beat for my granny. My granny's gonna call my daddy. And then for my daddy, I'm gonna be like, flip, man, my daddy knocks till 5 o'clock, man. I'm gonna be inside on 5:36 to get another beating. Feel me? We had to come back and take as far as initiative to penalize our children. Why did they go to jail to penalize them?
Nowadays, these youths are scared of the police, bro. When I was growing up, I was scared of my mama, bro.
My mama, you ain't scared
Straight
of my
up,
mama.
bro.
To this day,
I'm scared of my mama, bro.
Feel me?
I've always said,
I'm not getting caught to deal with my mama, though. I'm not getting caught for any man because I don't want to deal with my mama. Not with the man, I'll deal with the man, dog. I'm my mama, dog.
I've always said that mothers have more power than they knew, especially when it comes to their boys. Okay? And that needs to be reminded to some of the mothers. They have, mama shows up down school, it's a wrap. Imam, welcome.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum to you, sir. I don't know if you want to, you're just going to sit back and listen, or you want to tell us something.
I'm enjoying the conversation because it just fulfills what I already knew, and that is that the youth, they understand and they believe. These are decent people, not contrary to what the media says. The problem is not the youth, it's the adults. That's where the problem is. The society is corrupt, and they're trying to blame it on the youth. It's not about that. So I'm saying, exactly. And it's always been that way. So when the adults take responsibility, yeah, then you see the change. But I think these young brothers already recognize that, as Allah says in the Quran, إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُغَيِّرُ مَا بِقَوْمٍ حَتَّى يُغَيِّرُوا مَا بِأَنفُسِهِمْ. صدق الله العظيم. Allah says in the Quran in English, translated, it says, never will Allah change the condition of a people until they first change that which is within themselves. So it's up to you. If you want to see the society change yourself. That's what the solution is. It's up to you, man.
We got a young man inside the barbershop here. I'm sure you're just taking it in. Don't really want to say much. I respect that, bro. I respect you for that.
I think it takes come back to being a community, man. We gotta just like step up and all make a commitment as young men, as men, to say we're going try to guide the youth in a better direction, and we all have to like the guy just said, make that commitment within yourself. Because if we guys just talk like this and then we leave her and we go back to just doing what we do, and you feel me, like this stuff is pointless, man, because people's been trying to make changes for years and they ain't did nothing. Martin Luther King gathered 1 million people and still got shot and didn't do nothing. Like, you feel me? So like, if you really want to implement change in life, you really got to be committed to it. Really got to be committed to it, bro. Seriously. For real.
May I just add this, right? Young brothers, is very important to understand. There are some basic old sayings even. That is what? You can teach an old dog new tricks. So if you're looking for somebody else to change it for you, you're wasting your time. And it's not that older people can't change. They can, but they're stuck in the mud. You see? So they're comfortable. Yeah?
And they ain't got the energy to do the
yeah, or they just ain't got the courage. They're getting ready to die, man. They're waiting for. Yeah, so I'm saying it's up to you. That's my point. And if you study history, you'll find it's always been the youth that change things. It's not the old people. Don't work like that.
The revolution's coming from the youth.
It's got to come from yourself. Don't let these people give you a 6 or a 9, because it ain't the same. I'm saying it's up to you. Don't let them get you all drunk and high and wasted so you can't think for yourself. That's what Malcolm said. Whatever you do, think for yourself. Yeah? But if you're intoxicated, if you're all messed up, how can you think for yourself? You can't think at all. So I'm saying, it's not trying to diss nobody, but I'm saying, if you're intoxicated, can you think straight, man? No, man. So I'm saying these people, the ones who sell the liquor, they're the drug dealers. That's the truth of the matter. They're the original ones. So I'm saying to you, don't follow their example. Follow the example of the prophets who called you to righteousness, yeah? Trying to be upright, to be respected by your family, by your children, by your wife, and so on. That's where it's at, man. Yeah, there's strength in that. And there are tons of people who believe that same thing around the whole world. You're not by yourself. You're right. You may not hear it coming from a lot of people, because a lot of people don't have the strength or the courage. But know that you're not alone. That's what I want to say. You brothers, do what you gotta do, man.
I'm extremely encouraged by just this right here, because it started, and these are young men that looking to change.
Young black man too.
That's right, young. That's right. Call it.
It is.
That's right. Because, like I said last week, it's only 99.9% of those that have been killed are black. 99.9 have been black.
Changing because they know it ain't affecting them. That's saying you guys could stay over there and do all that dumb stuff in your neighborhoods and all that, but you bring it to us, that's when we're gonna shut it down. And we never affect them. When we rub those stores, when we affect them or rub them on the street, we rub ourselves. We rub the community stores that we run and all that. So it really don't make sense. It's like we're really crabs in a bucket, man. Crabs in a bucket.
Hang on. Same thing when it falls on to the young black men trying to start their businesses. A lot of these guys will go straight to no racial enough, but go straight to the white man and pay one time, whatever the price they say. But the minute a young black guy like me trying to do it, coming up and, I have to give you a deal. No, I don't have to give you nothing. I have a family to feed. You see what I'm saying? I got bills to pay. You see what I'm saying? And that's where it goes back to the last talk, part one, where you guys are talking about know your worth. I wasn't here to put my input in on that, but it took me hanging around guys like Pudgy coming out of jail, Tajon coming out of jail, guys telling me like, yo, bro, you gotta know your worth. You gotta stand on what you know. You know what I mean? They want you to do the job. And honestly, ever since then, like, I'm elevated in life. I'm working on getting a van soon, and that's because I just knowing my worth and knowing that I don't have to give everybody a deal. You see what I'm saying? And that's the problem with a lot of the community nowadays. They see the young black man coming out. Oh, I watch your boy grow up. Give me a deal. No, it don't work like that. You see what I'm saying? Deal with us, just like how you deal with the white man. So to say, you see what I'm saying? And help us all come up. One more thing before I go is it realizes in us the race that doesn't stick together is so sad that it's the black guys. A lot of these guys that own houses on this island, Portuguese people, and how they did it is because they all helped each other. They all stayed in one house until one person that house was bought, and then they moved to the next house and they rented out that house, or they go stay in your house, and then the next family they move up. You see what I'm saying? You never see families, black families. Oh, let's go buy a house together. You know what I mean? Let's go. Oh, you see the black family. Oh, y'all, I'm gonna go to the bank and buy this house because my family don't want to buy a house. You see what I'm saying? That's what it real results down to. You know what I mean?
It used to be like that. It used to be like that because I had an uncle that had 7 houses and was given to his children, and all of us, every after school Saturdays, we all chipped in. Okay, so we used to do that. We've really moved away from a lot of things that we used to do.
I would say also what we need, going back to the spiritual aspect, we need more churches coming outside of the buildings into the opening. I have some neighbors next door to where I live, right? And it was some stuff going on in my area, shootings taking place. One shooting took place where my neighbors were out in their yard still having service while the gunmen came across on their bikes and shut up the place. And these people did not move. They stood right there and still had church service. And I think if we have more churches coming outside of the walls, there is not too much people that's going to want to talk about they're going to commit a crime like that there if they see maybe the auntie or the cousin or somebody that's having a service right there outside of a building. I mean, look how much churches we have in this island. So how is it that we can't have more of them coming outside of the walls? Because it shouldn't be just contained within the walls where the gospel should be spread. The gospel should be spread worldwide, island-wide, in the opening. Because then that's where we find we can help to also make change. Also, like what Frederick Douglass said, it's easier to build children than to repair broken men. We need to start getting to the children like Tay and these other guys were saying earlier. We got to get to this younger generation, because I remember 10 years ago, the generation that was involved in all this stuff, we thought it was going to stop there. Now we saw the generations coming after them even getting worse. Then we're seeing massacres at Robin Hood and different places like that. A lot of us just take this stuff like as if it's something that just happens and then just let it go. We got to be paying attention to this stuff, man.
It's not a problem until it's our problem.
Yeah, you know, we need the island to become more.
It's our problem. It's like how many times we gotta see things happen. It's like, I mean, for instance, myself, like, I'm been involved in such situations where I've been a victim. Feel me? Or before that, there's like, I ain't standing up. I ain't trying to correct it. I ain't got time for that crap. Until it's my brother there fighting for his life. I'm like, this should hit my home now. No, my granddaughter's got to stand doing this. She knows all that. Her grandchild will get involved in such stuff now. All this time, it's like, oh, they ain't bothered the word. They ain't bothered the word. Until it comes knocking on your door. And then it's like, oh, well, flip. This is really in my door. It's like, what we going to do now? Now you want to have compassion towards everyone that's been through pain. By that time, he was already been through pain. Don't want to hurt from you no more. Because they've been trying to share this all this time. They're like, you know what? Oh, no, you want to come to me now after I'm trying to come to you and direct you correctly? So now let's stop, like, I say, for instance, you're in a better position than I am. I'm not saying literal right now. But let's stop saying because I'm outside in the street that I can't talk to you because you're inside the house. Feel me? Because y'all are sleeping on the streets and you're in there doing computer work on our content. Don't mean you can't integrate with each other. Like, feel me? I stopped to crack it. Just like I told you last time, a teacher is anybody. Feel me? So let's take that and understand that anyone could teach us. So it's up to everyone and be genuine to everybody. Because everyone could teach you something from one angle. And once you understand that, then you have a better thing in life.
Everybody, somebody.
I feel like that comes into, I want to say, like what my man was talking about earlier. He was starting to tap in on the social media and different aspects of that, but my man over her also, it kind of combined as well. He's talking about your heart and taking back the mind of the youth or the people. What's conditioning the heart or the mind to be in that state that is in for these youths to be out in the streets doing what they're doing? This is programming. This is conditioning, like from school. I'm talking about the redesigning of the whole school system is outdated because we've been taught to compete with each other from P1. You're competing in school for the best grade, for merits, for stars. You're competing with your own classmate from day one. So what you think that translates to when you come into your adult life? You know? You go through school, you're competing for a ribbon, sports day. You want that blue ribbon. You want to be better than the next man. You want to be faster than the next man. How is that bringing you together as an adult when you get in your adult life? You're going to be competing when you get in the work world for that better position at the desk. You're going to feel like you just talked about just now, that you can't talk to the man that's down there sweeping the street because I'm up here in an office job now. You know what I mean? You're not treating the CEO the same as you treat the janitor. That falls right into the streets as well. We get into the streets and then we compete with each other. You know what I mean? We can't even no knocking the hustler, no knocking the drug dealer. We can't even come together and say, hey, we're from different neighborhoods. I could go to his neighborhood and go get some work and we guys come up and make money together. We don't even do that. We're competing on that level too. You know? We're competing on that level too. Like, yo, who's got the most, like, you know, all them guys up the west, they got all the work, and we ain't got no work in town. We hate on that guy up Somerset. You know what I mean? We don't like this guy here. You know what I mean? He's got all the money right now. He's got all the, you know. So it goes. I feel like it's conditioning from the beginning. Like, you know what I mean? We gotta redesign school systems. The music is a big problem for me. You know what I mean? That's conditioning the mind and the heart. Big time. You know what I mean? That's destroying the heart chakra. Big time. The crown chakra. Big time. You know what I mean? We talked about it last time. Right? You guys talking about believing. Remember we was talking about being able to see things and imagine things. Me telling you I drew my food truck out before I actually manifested into reality. You know what I mean? So it's all about the imagination and the believing and all that, right? So what do you think this music and these music videos that the kids and all that's watching right now, where this guy's telling you Molly Percocet every day, all day. That's conditioning the mind. Remember we talk about imagination and belief. That's programming the subconscious mind, and whatever you imagine, you can bring to your reality. So what programming the subconscious mind with Miley Percocet, AK-47, let's blow this nigga's brains out, and you wonder why the streets are out there popping mollies and blowing each other's brains out?
That's why I said it's more.
Yeah, you know, there's countries around the world that TikTok and all this shit, that stuff's banned. It's banned. You know, rap music, trap music and all that's banned in certain countries. There's certain countries around the world, they'll ban this because they know what it's doing to their youth. So, who controls media and who controls what we watch or listen to? Who controls the radio stations? It ain't us. So it's deeper than just, starting from a surface level where, these community events and all that, they're taking our kids' mind from young, bruh. They're taking the mind from young, so no matter what happens at this community event, whatever you say to the youth out there is going in one or out the other, because the mind and the heart's already been programmed.
So I guess the question is, the video could bring that back was the question is how did you come back there?
That's why you say,
Like I said, we got countries out there where these things are not. So I
combat that.
I mean,
I can't control the music. I know when they got at a certain age, like right now, they're young, I could dictate to them what they could listen to, how much screen time they get, or things like that. But then, like, going forward, like, my daughter's 16, my son's 14, 15. At that point, like, how do you combat that? You know what I mean? Exactly. So they're going to end up making their own decisions. My son's going to come into his own man.
Well, like I said to you earlier, there are certain countries like China and all that where these things are banned. So they're not even allowed to watch it. They're not even able to tap into that website and be able to watch Miley Percocet and all that.
I get that, but we're in Bermuda. You know what I mean? Like, I'm talking about us. I'm not
in control of that. So maybe take her to that.
That takes time. That takes time.
That's the early stage.
I don't feel like
it's one solution.
Color. I just want to say one thing, because you said that's not the only solution, because I have a younger brother, 21, right? He listens to all the same music I listen to, watches all, like he'll sit to watching music, listen to it, like it. Some of you want to need drill music, he likes it. But at the end of the day, the same guy said, my little brother, won't his seeing me and my other brother, that's certain people around the communities, bro. Parents, everybody's hard. Everybody's drinking. You know what I mean? So he made a decision. I don't know if it could be it's a conscious decision. He's never smoked. He's never drank. I'm never seeing him get in a fight. He could hold his own, but at the same time, it's like he was raised around it, but programmed himself to what he wanted to do and stuck to it. You feel what I'm trying to show you?
It's the truth, though.
Yeah, it's the truth.
I feel like that's one of them.
I feel like
I know some
so chance to go abroad. They're on the same nonsense every day. I know nephews that play ball with my brother. That's from the ghetto, lost their daddies, lost their bros. Bro, come on. But like I said, they listen to what this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. We can't say there's only one solution, because ain't they? So listen to 2 seconds. That's a major factor, right? But that right there is out of our control. We gotta rock with what we could control. You know what I mean? So it's like if you know you could reach that one youth, yeah, look, go back to school, your last shit, why drop out? What did I do for him? What do I do for not what it does for us? What I do for him in the long run? You feel what I'm trying to show you?
Back to making them aware.
Spiritual awareness is key. Spiritual awareness is key. 1 minute, Imam. Yeah. Spiritual awareness is key, because the enemy is out there, and he's just trying to get souls. Okay, so if you don't know the things of God and prayer and all of that, that's acceptable to be swallowed up. So spiritual awareness, praying for your children, covering your children, You know what I mean? And training up your children. The word of the Lord, what I know says, train up a child in the way they should go, and when they get old, it will not depart from them. So yeah, it happened to me. I went Sunday school. I was in church all day Sundays. My granny took me to church. And when I got of age, I started to do my own thing. But I'm still alive. Thanks to the prayers of my mom and my granny. Okay? And now with my life is back now is serving God. Imam.
No, I just want to piggyback on what the brother said. And that is, we're all individuals, that's a fact. Each and every person is slightly different. So his brother was able to realize that he could change. He could be in the world, but not of the world. That's essentially what happened. So that's realization. Like the other brother said, that's very, very unusual though. Most people, they go with the flow. But I'm saying at the end of the day, I think here's the vibe here that you can change yourself. And if you change it,
proper support as well behind you, it'll take you further.
And I'm saying you got enough support in this room to get started. That's what I'm saying. You got it. You don't need a million people, behind you to effect even economic change. Somebody referenced that, But the same thing with social change, same with spiritual change. But it begins with you. I'm saying that the Almighty, if you believe in a God, I happen to, but if you believe there's a God, why don't you turn to God and ask Him for guidance? Ever thought about that? But if you're stiff-necked, if you're hard-headed, if you're arrogant, you're not going to do that. You can try to just do your own thing and figure it out yourself. You figure out parts of it, but I'm saying to you, at the end of the day, we're all human beings. I'm saying, I know for me it was easy in the sense that when I decided that, it's time for me to get married. You know what I asked myself? But what if the Almighty blessed me with a son or a child? What am I going to teach that child? You know what the answer is? Nothing, because you don't know nothing. And I'm saying to you, I'm not just lying to myself. I'm saying everybody here, if you don't know nothing, what you going to teach your kid? Nothing. Or you're going to wing it. You're going to make up something. And when he gets through and say, man, my dad was talking garbage, man. What he said, that didn't add up, man. So guess what? I'm out. I ain't listening to him no more. So I'm saying that's the society. But by and large, especially people of African descent, know that your forefathers were not one. And I'm saying to you, for me, my solution is I turned to Islam. I became a Muslim. And I'm saying the knowledge was there. Because a Muslim and Islam is not a brand name. It's a state of submission. Submission to God. So whether you talk about Noah or Moses, all these things you read about, even in the previous scriptures, I'm saying they were all Muslim because Muslim means to submit your will to the will of God. That's all it means. So you can come up with a label after that and stick it on your back if that's what you want to do. But the question is whether or not you have the courage and the integrity, to submit your will to the will of God. If you don't have that, then like Malcolm said, you must well get back in the alley with the rats and the roaches. Because I'm saying to you, that's how it goes. If you don't want to make the sacrifice to effect change, then you shouldn't be talking about change because it's just rhetoric. That's all it is. And some people say that's what the politicians do. Just talking rhetoric.
They do.
That's why we're here.
And some of the other religious leaders, that's all, they just shooting the breeze. But I'm saying, make sure you're not like that. That's the point. I don't want to hold the mic, but that's the bottom line.
Did you say something, Brandon?
Let me say something. I'm 72 years old, okay? And I've been running my whole life. I started running when my mother and father got in a big argument, and I didn't want to hear it. I put on my clothes from Vale Bay, Scour Hill, went back, and been running ever since. I go to my doctor. My doctor says to me, your blood pressure is high.
So I said, well, what should it be? She said, it should be 180/20. I said to her, my blood pressure has never been that low. So I don't know what nonsense you're talking to me. So I did some research. I asked people, how do these doctors arrive at what they call an ideal blood pressure? Here's the answer. They took some white people who work in the bank or who work as clerks. They call them sedentary workers.
Sedentary, yeah.
Yes. Took these people and they got them sitting down, not walking or moving, sitting down, took their pressure. All right? Then they put it in the computer and said, well, this one was a little high, this one was a little low. They found an average and they said, this is what an ideal pressure should be. Okay? When it comes to intelligence, they give you an intelligence test. Okay? Based on what? Answers that the white man have given. Okay? The white man gave those answers, and that's what you're supposed to answer. Okay? Everything that we do in this world is based on value system
Of somebody else's mind.
of somebody else, and happen to be the European white man. Now let me tell you where this is my view. I'm going to tell you where it started. Just pass that picture on. Just pass it. This is where it started. It started with Constantine. Constantine became the ruler of the whole world. And the first thing Constantine did, he went into every library that existed. Every library that existed, every country that existed. He took every book and he sent about 40, 50 people as a group to examine these books. And if he didn't like what he read, he burnt the book. He burnt it. And if he wanted to add to it, he added to it. But he never said, well, this is the work of the author. It's his work. He put the author's name there, but it's his thought. Now, this is what I made up. In Luke chapter 1:26, I'm at where they have free food on that town. I don't know the name of the place. Catholic place. Cedar Avenue. That Catholic church. So the Catholic minister comes in, and I said to him, I want to talk to you. He said, okay. So he comes. And I said to him, I read in the Bible that Gabriel came to Mary and said to Mary, you're going to have a son, and you shall call his name Jesus. And I said to the Catholic minister, that is a big lie. He said, why is it a lie? It's a lie because there were no J's around at that time. So he couldn't be named Jesus. So he said, okay. And then I said to him, if you go to Acts, book of Acts, Paul was struck down. When Paul got up, the voice said to him, why are you persecuting me? And Paul said, who are you? And the voice said, I am Jesus. And I said to the Catholic priest, that is also a lie. That's a lie. Then I said to him, how did those lies get into a book that you call a holy book? How'd it get in there? He said, very proudly, that was our work. The Catholic Church did that. Okay? And guess what? You see all these ministers? All these ministers go to the seminary and they learn the truth. They learn the truth. They
Bring it back to where we're discussing. I don't want to go off the train.
I don't know if I'm going off. What I'm trying to tell you is we are... I always get that. I always see, every time I talk, they got something to say. I am talking about it. I'm talking about it. I am bringing it back.
You just want to pass around. You don't want to have too much emphasis with one person when you might
Okay, all I'm saying is, this world be dealing with lies. That's all I'm saying. And we have to deal with these lies. If our children, our wives, our girlfriends, if we don't deal with them, if we say, oh, that Jesus is a white man, and this is the person that we look up to, then I'm not white. So how do I feel about him? He's not white. I'm going to kill him. He's not important being white. That's why you got all this violence. Black people hate each other.
They don't see the value in themselves.
That's real talk.
And that's
They don't see the value in themselves.
that's why we're having all these problems.
I didn't want to rush you, Mr. Brangman, but I appreciate that.
So I don't want to go off topic either, but I like what the elder said though. He said that the images that are being perpetrated in the church, that is psychological warfare. So what they done, they took those images, like even in Europe, we ruled Europe for over 1,000 years. So they took those images and they whitewashed them. And what that does, that makes the so-called white man seem superior to you. You see what I'm saying? Then they turn around now and they say that the Bible says this and says that, but they're not really teaching the truth of the Bible, because if you look at the first books of Moses in Leviticus 19, the first thing it says in 17, it says that you shall love thy neighbor as thyself. You see what I'm saying? So once we start to love each other like the elder said, we'll start to value ourselves more. So he's actually right about that deal. You know what I mean? So it's not really going off a topic, it's actually going on topic. You know what I mean? I don't know if yeah, I just want to big up the elder, because, you know, the elder, even though sometimes guys bring up religion and people get, you know what I mean? But the elder's, he's connecting it though, you know what I mean? Yeah, so big up to the elder.
Just last year, one person speak on something, and then a lot of people might not be agreeing with what he and then they want to jump onto you.
But it all,
people like you, instead of step up and then speak about it on a different form. To where it's like, you know what, and that's where he's going with, because he probably would explain it correctly.
Exactly.
Yeah,
he was getting there. He was getting there. It's just
how easy it would be to fall victim to what we are doing against.
it just has to be sharp and succinct. You know what I mean? So basically, you want to get to the point a little quicker. But in order to get to the point, what you have to start from the beginning. You know what I mean? So as you said, Roman Emperor Constantine, he did change a lot of the images. And they did rewrite some things. They injected some things into the scriptures. You know what I'm saying? So that way, when they gave us Christianity, per se, right? When we are forced to go to church or whatever, now they can instill the doctrine into our minds psychologically. So that love for thyself is probably the most important thing. Because more time, like, we guys are going out and we're seeing our brethren, like, and say he's doing better than us, right? We start to get that spirit of envy in us, right? Man's got to come out of that. Because whatever's meant for you is meant for you. Once we stop envying each other and stop hating each other, then we can start to unite. You know what I mean? Even when you're looking at a man's woman, like, a man will see a woman is a glory to a man. So you see a beautiful thing, but she might belong to another brother. Now, yeah, you're going up in the girls there now. Oh, yeah, because you feel like you're disrespect. Because a guy might be like, well, you might think it's a nerd. Well, that guy's a nerd, but that's his woman. So once we start to respect each other and then let go of the pride and the ego, you feel me? That's probably the first step. Yeah, that's the first step. So I like what the elder was saying. Like, you know what I mean? The elder, yeah, man, big up the elder, man.
Let me tell you, I'm in Egypt, and the first time I went to Egypt, I went down to the Valley of the Kings and the Valley of the Queens, and I looked on the hieroglyphics, and what did I see? Black kings and black queens. But when I looked around to see how many people was taking in this history, they were all Chinese and Japanese people, no black people. And it felt bad, because I was like, whoa, in the part of the world where I come from, we didn't even realize that we were kings and queens. But like the gentleman just said, the elder said, what you see when you go into buildings and what you see on walls depicts of making you understand they're superior, I'm inferior. And there's nothing against people of today, but this has been something that has been put in our minds and in our psyche from thousands of years ago. In our DNA, and it's been embedded generation to generation. This is where technology helps and assists us in an of today because you have access to being able to see the truth. You know what I mean? Like we were saying, we have to start learning how to use technology to our advantage to where it can very much help bring us out of the state that we've been conditioned in for so many years. You know? Another thing that we also have to realize is how many of us in our houses or grew up in our house with a table? The table, yeah. The dinner table is the place where a lot of times you come in from school. What's the first thing your parents would ask you when you're sitting at the dinner table? How was school today? How was work today? But if we don't have that in the homes, there is no communication, there is no bonding, there is no finding out what the children are going through throughout their days. It's just a house. There's no more home, like you said. There's no more house. So we need to start looking at them key things, and it don't take much to have that. You can have a wooden shack. But if you got a table in there where children can come and sit down with parents and be able to say to mama, today this is what took place. Today I got beat up. Today somebody picked on me. The parent could then have communicate with the child to be able to make them feel better because they have an outlet to show what's on their chest. Today we have children, they ain't being able to speak on stuff because there's no table.
Not to cut you off from that right there. Man, you don't have that there in your family wise. Where do you go to vent to? Your friends. And your friends ain't got I say exactly. So you go talk to your friends and vent to them. They're not aware of whatever they're feeling themselves. They just got fun. They just find someone's going through the same type of pain as they are. So that's gonna create pain. Feel me? You start talking to your children in a sense, and you start bonding with your children as far as giving straight honesty. Because someone said it earlier, dog, as far as like parents these days ain't really, they're not honest with the children no more. They want to protect the children. Right. So they will lie to the child with good intentions to show them, like, instead of saying like, yeah, I was in these streets and I'm done this, sir. They will tell them, oh no, don't do this, sir, because X, Y, and Z. Rather than like, no, I've been on this path. So come back to that there years. When you get up age, you get like 13, 14, you start understanding like, my daddy or mama's lying to me right now. So now the respect for the parent or the household is going. So now you're going to them older guys outside right now that you could be honest with, and they can give you honest feedback same way still. Because that right there is your honest thing. So it's just more than just having a table in there. It comes down because you have a table and still have parents that's lying to you. For you to be like, oh, you know, let's do this way, or you do this way, but then you look in your daddy or mama's eyes and you're like, that's not the truth. You want me to do that there, but tell me you want me to do that there. Don't tell me because you act like you came from that angle. Show me how you got to that answer in life. Like, give me by understanding. Because if not, I'm going to seek it myself. You know, have that table and give a meaning behind it. You know?
So it's almost like saying, like, don't just leave it up to education to teach your children. Parents at home need to parents at home need to be educating and installing things into their kids' mind at the home. Not just what I see in today's age is they're just sending their kids to school, and when the kids come home, here's an iPad. The iPad's the babysitter, the cell phone's the babysitter. And the parents themselves are not doing anything extra with their kid to stimulate their mind.
So what I want, I've been sitting there, I'm just been listening since the last thing I said, right? Which was what? How do you combat that? You guys answered it just now without even me having to go on topic. I knew we would get to that point, you feel me? Because at the end of the day, I'm going to believe in you tie a camel, right? So what that expression means, you take your precautions. Like I said, I have a son, I have a daughter. I'm going to instill in them my beliefs, my morals, you know, things that I believe in, things that I think that you need, that you could use in your life to make your life worth living and make your life honorable in terms of what I believe. You know what I mean? Now, at the end of the day, my son goes 18, he's a man. If he chooses to go a different path, I tied my camel. I took my precautions on how we could be. Yeah, I did my part. You see what I mean? So at the end of the day, that's what it all comes down to. Like, so it don't matter if the social media's this or the music is this, because at the end of the day, you instill what you believe that your son or your daughter should be like. You know what I mean? So if they let that influence them, I didn't do my job right. Because I raised you to not get influenced by those type of things. Not saying you can't listen to it, or it's going to be around anyways. People's going to have different ideals than you anyways, no matter where you go. I'm sure everybody in this room right now has different beliefs. Exactly, but I wouldn't even call it conditioning. Because at the end of the day, it's not even, it's deeper than your mind, it's your soul. You ought to realize in this world, in the dunya, we're all battling spiritual battles. It's more than just your mind. You know what I mean? So like your mind, obviously your mind is a very big aspect of who you are. But at the end of the day, your spirit, your soul, who you are within yourself is what you're going to be judged on. You know what I mean? You're not going to be judged on your mind. You could think something, not act on it, and it won't even be considered a sin to a certain extent. You know what I mean? But what you do, the actions that you do, the things like me coming in here and talking to you guys, obviously it's different things that I wouldn't say because I don't know what you believe in. I'm not going to try to offend anybody. So I'll come around, just listen to you guys, that you guys say your 2 cents. But at the end of the day, things that you say, things that he says, they're not going to affect me the same way that they will affect somebody who's not as spiritually tuned in or as mentally, I guess you could say, secure in what they believe or what their morals are. Because me personally, I know who I am. And that's what I feel like people need to do for their children. Because at the end of the day, children don't know who they are. My son, he don't know, you know what I mean? He's going to have to look at his daddy and his mama and like take from them their attributes, you know what I mean? He's not going to be able to really function on that level until he gets a certain age. So it's up to me to instill in him the beliefs, the thoughts, the processes that I think he needs to thrive in life. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's what I mean, like when I say, how do we combat these things? At the end of the day, you combat the systematic trials and tribulations that we face mainly as black people. You combat it by instilling in your children that you're bigger than that. You know what I mean? You could overcome that. There's nothing stopping you from overcoming that. You could sit or you could complain and say, wow, everything's set out against me. I don't know how I'm like, everything's against me, like I'm black, this, that. Yes, it is. That's true. I'm not going to argue against that, but that doesn't mean you can't overcome these battles. You know what I mean? You can overcome anything you put your mind to. Like, I'm seeing myself, my personal experience. I finished high school, right? I came out, I was working hard. I was working at the golf course 6 to 3 every day in the sun, hot. And you know what I said? You know what? I can't do this no more. I'm telling you, all the Bermudian guys, I can't do this no more, man. I can't, like, you know, I can't see myself doing this for the rest of my life. You know what these guys told me? This is an honest job. You need to stay here. You could stay here, work hard for your whole life. I know it's hard work, but you could work hard for your whole life and you could look at me. I'm got a house, I'm got a car, I've been here for 30, 40 years. I'm like, okay, that worked for you, but that's not what I want to be. Then I say, you know what, I'm going to go to school. I think I want to go to school. I want to do things in my life that's bigger. And they tell me, you can't do that. You've been out of school for, 5 years now? How are you going to go back to school? You're going to go to school, you're not going to know nothing. I say, you know what, like, I'm not, that's at that point, I made it in myself, like, I need to stop sharing things that I want to do with people who ain't on the same mindset as me.
That generation was raised to work.
Like, yo, you see what I mean? But that goes back to what I was saying. Their parents is still with them. You got a good job, you work hard, and you'll be all right. That's not going to work for me.
But his point was, the key part of what he just said was sharing. You don't share your dreams with everybody because you got dream slayers. You got people that will take your ideas and run with it. Get to the finish line before you. Continue.
The thing is, I wouldn't even call it dreams. I'll just say more like, yeah, you know, like, I mean, it wasn't really a dream for me. It was just, I felt like I could, well, yeah, I guess you could look at it like that. But yeah, so anyways, let's just fast forward. 5 years out of school, I went through that situation, and you know what? I went university. 4 months ago, I got my degree in sociology, psychology. I'm a counselor now. But I'm seeing these same old heads. I'm a counselor, like I work, yeah. So I work with struggle people, like. But anyways, I'm seeing these same older cats that told me I couldn't do it. Oh, what you doing now? I say, I went to school like I said I was gonna do. You know, I graduated. You know, and they're still at the golf course.
They push you, though. They push you. They push you. So look at the positive side. Yeah, look at the positive side of what they done. You know what I mean?
You're right. You're definitely right. But what I'm trying to say is, I could have easily been somebody. But this is where it goes back to your parents. My parents raised me to be like a person who would take, if I believe in something and I believe I could do it, I do it. You know what I mean? I could do it. Nothing's stopping you by yourself. But if I wasn't raised with those same morals, damn same people could have shot me down. I could have still been at the golf course to this day. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like, that's what I mean. You gotta kind of like instill in the next generation. And that's going back to what the mom was saying. You know, you gotta instill in the next generation the ability, well, not the ability because we all have the ability, but the I guess you could say,
Faith, man. Faith in your money.
yes, you know in yourself that you could change, you can make a change, you can make a change. It just takes taking these steps to do it. You know what I mean?
Let's take 10 seconds and congratulate this man. Because no, bro, no. You have achieved something, and your testimony just now can help someone else that's listening. You know what I mean? Our fruit is not for us, you know. I always use this analogy. Cherry trees, local trees, the fruit that's on those trees is not for the tree, you know. It's for us to enjoy. Your fruit, it's not for you. It's for me to enjoy, for those that are watching. So congratulations, bro. Congratulations. You know what I mean? You need to hear that. That's what we need to hear. Affirmations and pet. Yeah, you know what I mean? So don't, when
out of the hole that you were in. But that's the way how you like a black hole. I'm saying you by yourself that were you inspired in some way? What helped you? That's the question.
What helped me?
Give him the mic.
Well, honestly, for me personally, I would say what helped me was, and this is going back to like, and obviously not everybody's a spiritual person or things like that. You know what I mean? So like, obviously for me, I honestly believe that God had a plan for me. You know what I mean? Like, like alhamdulillah for the way that my life went. So I went university, and I was a Christian, 7-day Adventist. You know what I mean? I grew up 7-day Adventist, strict, Saturdays, this, that, you know what I mean? Like, so, but when I came back from school, 2 years of school, I was a Muslim. And that's like, you're coming back, your people's like, what you mean, you know what I mean? Like, I had to deal with a lot of different things. I'm not going to go into detail, but like, but yeah, so I think like God had a plan for me. I went to a Catholic school. I went to St. Mary's University. And from a Catholic school, I learned history, historical fact. I did sociology and psychology. So I took a lot of historical classes, religious classes, and obviously like, all the regular classes, English and stuff. But from those historical and religious classes, I learned so much that led me down this path that I'm at right now. You know what I mean? So I always say like God had a plan for me in my situation. But I think that God has a plan for everybody. Even if you don't believe in God, you know what I mean? The way your life's going to go is the way it was meant to go, like, so yeah.
Let me ask you one more question. What would you say to encourage somebody that's watching that might be wayward in their thinking?
To encourage anybody, I'm 27.
Wow.
Yeah. To encourage anybody, I'll just say, don't let people set limits for yourself. You know what I mean? Like, don't let anybody limit you. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, we're limitless beings in terms of this world. You know what I mean? You could achieve what you want to achieve. It's just about you putting in the work. Because a lot of people don't want to work too. They want to see these results. You know what I mean? You want the results. You want what you see other people having. Yeah, instant gratification. Yes, that's it. Yes, instant gratification. A lot of people want that, but you got to put the work in for things. You know what I mean? When I went to school, it wasn't easy. Just like that older cat that I was working with told me, he said, "You're gonna go to school, you don't remember no." I showed up to my first class like I didn't know what was going on. You know what I mean? I've been out of school and let alone a university set up, like, So honestly, I'll just say, don't limit yourself. Take chances, take risks. Sometimes that one risk that you might not take could have been the difference between you getting ahead. And like I said, always tie a camel. Take your precautions. You know what I mean? Take your precautions. If you know that there's a hurricane coming, don't just say, my house is sturdy, I'm all right. Board up your windows. You know what I mean? Take your precautions on things in life, because at the end of the day, as long as you could do that, if things don't work out, at least you can't say I didn't try my best. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm gonna give you some. Yeah, man. I like what he said though. He said the elders, they kind of were holding him back in a sense. Well, not holding him back, but they tried to discourage him because of the mentality that they had. And like my brother who just left, he was saying that a lot of times the elders, they were taught like to work. You know what I mean? Because pre emancipation, you know what I mean? Most of us were like tradesmen, things of that sort. Our elders, that's how they kind of built their wealth. That's what we see why most of these houses and all that are built by our own people, because they're good tradesmen and all that. But now we'll come to the understanding now that we're so much greater than just using physical labor. we can also do many different things. You know what I mean? We could run a whole society like our government is pretty much all black, right? Basically, even though we're under the same, slave master, right? But we're still self-governed. You know what I mean? So that's kind of like an example to the world that we as so-called black people, we can actually control and rule our own nation. You know what I'm saying? If we come together and we start to open our mind and come out of the mindset of slavery, like what Bob Marley said. You know what I mean? So like that's basically about it. You know what I mean?
Woman, wanna go?
I'm on the bus.
Yeah.
I'm on the bus. And these tourists on the bus, and we looking out so sure. We got all these long tails flying around. And I said to the tourists, the long tail is our national bird. So the student, one of these high school children said, no, it's the cahal. I said, what? Cahal? I looked it up, and she was right. And I said to myself, David Wingate, these white people have a lot of control over black people, brother. Don't talk nonsense to me. They're in the House of Assembly. They're claiming that they're running the country, but the black man is being run by white people. Okay? White people. The cahal is a bird that David Wingate brought back from the extinction. So it gives him honor. It honors him. It honors him to have this bird to be the national bird. And so, even though they don't even see a cahal, the black people who is in the power are going to name the bird, the cahal, the national bird, in honor of the white man. Okay? One other thing. I go to the grocery shop. I say to the guy, well, my daughter worked in the grocery shop packing groceries. The manager came to her and said, could you go outside and bring these baskets in out there? She's looked at him and said, you don't pay me to bring baskets in. I'm not going to do that. She came home and told me, boy, I was proud of her. The guy, he didn't hire her, but he let her go. Didn't give her the opportunity. The people who brought slavery to us wanted free labor. Now, slavery is supposed to be over, but the marketplace, the hospital, the aquarium are still got free labor. Not only that, the government says that if you don't do free labor, you can't graduate from school. Because free labor, they call it
Community service.
all right, and you can't graduate unless you give free service.
That's the mic.
So Doug got us.
So like I was saying, I really think it's time for us to come together as a country, because Bermuda needs this. We're tired of losing family members to reckless stuff. Whether it's gun violence, stabbing, guys getting beat up. Guys know me, I do security. I'm worked all over the island. Spinning wheel, I'm worked around here. You know what I mean? I'm worked everywhere. So, it's time for guys, put the differences aside. Let's have a talk, you know what I mean? 1 minute.
Bismillah. Yeah, I just wanted to say that I came here and the first thing I did was to greet everyone in the room with the salam. Assalamu alaikum. And the reason why I did this, because this is the way of the Muslim people, and to wish peace in the room, in the family, within ourselves, because we're all human beings, huh? So don't be prejudiced against your brother because he wears a different label. Don't get bent out of shape, because he doesn't say that he's a Christian or a Jew or Hindu or whatever. It doesn't matter. You call yourself what you want to call yourself. But what I'm trying to say is that the most important thing for you is to get rid of that stiff-necked thing, being arrogant. maybe you've never had this said to you before, but a lot of our people now in Bermuda become arrogant. Become very, very arrogant. In other words, don't want to listen to anybody. Don't want to listen. And that's a great blessing today because we've listened to each other. We've spoken, we've listened, we've spoken. That's the start. So I'm saying to spread peace in the community. Spread in your home. When you go home, speak to your people with kindness, and try to generate that peace in this society because it's up to us. We've all agreed, that we can do it. So the question is, are you committed to peace? Because it starts with you. And the Almighty, He will guide you. Try it, Maybe it won't work for you, but that's my point. Assalamu alaikum.
Okay, question. Quick, let me, if you could, you don't mind, because we could sit there and no understand, I respect and I appreciate the genuine, input as far as, spiritual wise. But what are we going to do as far as the gang violence? Because we could sit there and we could preach, honestly, respectfully. We could tell everyone right now what is on last year right now, look, let's find each other right now, let's tap in, let's become either Christian, let's become Muslim, let's become a Jew, let's become, whatever the case may be. But what's the next step? Because this is our second talk right now. So are we going to keep on sitting around talking, or are we going to start solution-wise? Because right now, I reached out because I go to gas stations now, I go to different places. They be like, oh yeah, you talk from the barbershop. And that feels beautiful. But my second speak now, that's not enough for me. Feel me? What am I going to do as far as the community-wise? Feel me? So I don't know. I could probably say, hypothetically speaking, I get word out there to now, to any young man right now that could come back to me, the first 5 people that come back to me, and could tell me how they feel about these things we guys are speaking on right now, I could blast them for a haircut. Just to show people, what, let me help out with something right there, feel me? Let me be that person right there, to step up from my angle right there, feel me? Whoever 5 young men, I'm going to talk to the camera, that could come back to me and tell me how they feel about this, talk right there, I'm going to blast them for a haircut. That's it. That's from my angle right there, because that's me trying to do a solution as far as the next person. Save you $1 right there. You come away from Somerset, or you come to my household. That's how Camp will work. And I will give you a haircut for free. Just for starters right there.
Provide drinks, vital blends. So if you come here,
good stuff.
I'll bring some drinks.
Just wrapping up real quick.
That's real.
Last thoughts.
Yeah, hey, it's time to take action, really. That's it. Saying it back, piggyback on what Tay and everybody said. We can sit there and talk about it, you know what I mean? It's going to take time. It's going to take effort. It's going to take a lot of patience. You know what I mean? But at the same time, if we're committed to doing it, just from everybody been through certain situations, it's going to be hard days. Just like Robert said earlier, you can't just give up and go to the wayside once it gets hard. So discipline, consistency, and just roll with the punches as it comes, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
You know what you're getting, get good. Somebody's always told me that. You know what you're getting. So make sure it's a part of this whole process. I want to also add to this, sir. A few weeks back, I was talking to a gentleman. He's a treasurer in one of these corporate companies that are downtown, and a white man as well. And he hit me and made me really just say, "Whoa!" Because he said, Zul, we want to try to help with what's going on in these communities. He said, don't think that because you guys are having it happen in your communities that we don't feel for it. He said, what we just want to see is where's some type of structure that we can invest in. Where is something that's organized that shows us that if we do put funding into something, we can see what it's going to reap and bring about that's going to help change. And I think that's the problem that we have to start looking into, is putting some type of structured programs together that we can go to these companies and then ask them for assistance, because then they see what we're coming with, but they see our end goal. And when they see our end goal, that's where they can then contribute funding to that. But a lot of times we want results, but we're not trying to sit down and then come collectively together to say, let's brainstorm together to put some type of structured program that we can start looking to get some assistance. Also to add, with what we're building right now, like Brother Tay was just saying, we're not looking to just keep this as talk. We're looking to take this and start having fun days amongst ourselves as men. Having men want to come and bring their children to want to get together and have fun days. Getting us brothers together to even go to schools. And when children are coming to school, give them a hug.
before they go about their day in school and learning lessons. So these are the things that I feel we guys could start getting together and doing that can help also bring about change, to be able to see that we're not just talking, we're coming together and we're men of actions.
My final thoughts on it, like as a physical solution, like, I mean, most of us that's in the room right now, there's a few new faces, but these is pretty much some of the same faces that were here before. You know what I mean? I don't feel like most of us in here have problems with each other or had problems with each other. You know, the gang violence is neighborhood to neighborhood, different guys in different areas. How do we get, like, we all know who we had problems with back in the day. We all know who has beef with who. We all know who can go where. I feel like most of us don't even understand the mind of the person that doesn't like us or doesn't from the other neighborhood that wants to shoot us or kill us. We don't even understand the mind of this person. We don't even know what's wrong with their heart, what's wrong with their mind, why we feel this way about each other. So it's like, how do we bring these people together? How do country and town guys be in the same space at the same time? The guys that have problems with each other, so we could talk this out, like, with each other, you know, man to man, and get down to the root of the problem. You know what I mean? Yes, lives have been taken. Yes, brothers have been killed, cousins have been killed. All of that has happened. That's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to really forgive that. But you have to. It has to be forgiven. It has to be, you know. So it's like, how do we have some type of event or some type of thing where we can bring the guys together from different neighborhoods that have problems with each other, so that we can actually get to the root of the problem? Because, you know what I mean, we guys are all pretty much cool in here. You know what I mean? Even though it is guys from different areas, you know what I mean? But what can we do to bring these different neighborhoods together so that guys could see eye to eye and be able to talk things out and be able to be man about things, you know what I mean? Because guys who I had beef with back in the day, I don't even know why they don't like me. I wanna hurt his mind. I wanna hurt his mind. Why do you? What? And they don't know either. And 9 times out of 10, when we come together, it's gonna be some petty little shit, and then we can end up being brethren after that. It's gonna be over some girls or some money or some petty something that don't even matter. You know what I mean? So how can I get? I mean, yeah, a community event or something like that. But how can we? What brings us all together? What we all like? We all like food, music. I don't know what type of event, something. You know what I mean? But yeah, like, see how they had one on Rangers the other day. The bikes up, guns down. Or that fun day thing they had down there, where the axe sports and all that. Where let's get the town guys have a little, you know, they might have their little team, and let's have an axe sports day or something together where guys are. We had the egg and spoon and all that craziness down the club the other day. You know what I mean? You wanna and let's get together and on a, you know, make it kind of on a fun type tip. Whereas, you know, we can all be man and say, you know what, this day hurt. You know, the beef squash is no beef. This is about us coming together so we can, you know, 9 times out of 10 when we come together, we're gonna realize what he's saying. Kendrick knows me from, I'm lived in all the neighborhoods. I'm gonna be real with you guys. I'm had a rough upbringing. My mama moved around a lot. I grew up in a single parent home. I moved around a lot, bro. Kendrick knows me from town. I grew up around the curve. My daddy lived Rangers and my daddy lived Somerset. That's why I'm up here and all around. My daddy lived up the country. My mama lived around the curve. So during the week, I'm been around town, guys. During the week when I was in school, I was in town. I used to come up my daddy's house up Somerset and Rangers and all that on the weekends. That's when I got around country, guys. You know, and then as I got older, I decided 15, 16, I moved up the country. You know what I mean? But when I go living in all the neighborhoods, I'm live town, I'm live Rangers, and I'm live Somerset. Every neighborhood I'm been in, I see the same thing, bro. I see the same thing. A bunch of brothers just trying to put food on the table by any means necessary and just earn a living. You know what I mean? Otherwise than that, I don't really know what our problems are. You know what I mean? I don't know what the real beef's over.
it's too small here, like, you know what I mean? The island's way too small. You know what I mean? Like, to talk about I can't leave Somerset and go this place, or I can't, you know what I mean? I'm looking for the year, the day, because I haven't seen it. I'm looking at all the other generations. I've spoke to my grandparents. I've spoken to these guys' generation, and we've always been divided. We've always been divided and divided by neighborhood or this or Christianity. Like Uncle said over there, religion has always been. When are we gonna come together and be one? Like I said, when it comes to entrepreneurs, if we all got businesses, when are we going to come together and help each other with our businesses? If you guys want to be hustlers out in the street, when are you all going to hustle together and make money together? Because I'm looking around and I'm looking at all the other, no racism, no, I'm looking at all the other nationalities and they're taking us over in our own island, bro. Like I'm watching the Filipinos come together, 5, 6 of them live in a house next to, they now look at them. They got all the cleaning businesses, all these Thai massage businesses all over the island. They're developing their communities and developing their businesses, sacrificing, and they're not the Filipinos are not shooting each other down. When I go look at the Portuguese, it's the same thing. They got all the construction companies, landscaping companies. They all came together. I don't see these Portuguese out fairly and shooting each other down. Their children shooting each other down. I don't see. Do you look at the Jamaicans? The Jamaicans are coming now. They built their communities up. They earn all the. They got landscape. They're farming. They got farming. They're landscaping. Even look at the barber industry. Look at all these Spanish Dominicans taking over the barber industry. You know what I mean? They're taking it. They'll come here now. We got a Hispanic Dominican community in the island now, building up barbershops and their businesses. Their children's coming here. They're all together, and we're the only ones still fight all apart, divided, bro. And they're overtaking us big time. We're losing big right now, bro, to all the other nationalities in our own country.
Gang violence is playing
Gang violence is playing a huge part in that. How can we come together? Because, like I said, I grew up in town. I went to West Pembroke. You know what I mean? I grew up in the country. I've seen both sides of it. So my town friends know me and my country friends know me. Like, when are we going to come together, my brother? That's all I'm going to say.
Blessings, Sit back, listen to everybody talk. I appreciate everybody coming out. You guys know as a barber, you're like a therapist, feel me? So I like to just say, whoa, strong black man in here. All got some type of standards and whatnot. We can make a difference to these youth by if we all just at least get one kid that we could just spend time with and, help them to better themselves, we can make a big difference, yeah. And yeah, pretty much like big brother, and we can't change them all, which we already know, but we could at least all start with changing one first. We got to one, that one could affect another one, feel me? And from there, yeah, about 10, 15 guys in there, feel me? And we just start out like that. We could start as soon as we leave her, feel me? A little kid, talk to them, give them some guidance, and we just take them under. And we just push forth and see where it gets us, Appreciate you guys, though.
I'll just close by saying one of the first things we could do individually as men is just to start celebrating real character again. Stop celebrating like degeneracy and ignorance, and that's one of the main things we could do with the youth. Like, you see the youth doing something, say something about it. Like, yo, that's not the right way. That's not, you feel me? And that would trickle into the younger generation. They'll start to see, okay, well, every time I do this, one of the older guys says something to me. So obviously this ain't the right thing to do. So that's all I want to say. That's one step that we could all make just to.
Yeah, wax, because even still like two guys, like, I tell everyone around my neighborhood, I don't want no one riding around a new knife on me. Plain and simple. I don't want no knives on me, none of that bull crap, because you're going to attract different things like that. Anytime anyone leaves from me, you could call any one of my film book. They're going to tell you, before they have any bike, fashion homie. I sit back now, I used to tell everyone to swear, God, I'm anything up to you. I don't care if they're getting up to you, or if they're getting right there to like 10 feet. Fashion homie. I don't care if they're going to sit right there and there's a car right there. And you're going to do that talk. Fashion homie. But my joy is like what you're saying and what Pudge was saying. No, I sit back now, I see my youngins, not even my youngins meaning as far as mine, so I'm like portraying as far as I'm the God or nothing. I'm talking about as far as like me teaching them in a sense. The younger brothers of myself, my brothers. I see them teaching everyone else now. They hop on the bike, they say, nah, brother, look, fashion helmet will kick me. I'm like, look at this crap right there. This same person that I was just telling to fasten the helmet like 2 months ago is telling someone else now to fasten the helmet.
That ripple goes along.
That ripple. And instead of me just making a new, I'm like, you know what, thank you. Genuinely speaking, just say to the universe, where how you been, whoever it may be, thank you. Because now that one person that you was, it's turned to 2 people. That 2 person can turn to 3. And next you know, each one teach one. That's where it is right there. Feel me?
Again, we're coming to the closing of episode 2, season 1 of Man's Talk in the Barbershop. It's been very educational, informative, listening to young, old, man from all walks of life be here and to give some open dialogue on the topics that we have. If we can all just put up our hands to just say that we're here to be our brother's keepers and look out for each other, and let's build our country back to what it used to be by starting with what we have right here. That's the union motto is, united we stand, divided we fall. All my brothers, thank you again. Brother Trevor, Brother Pudgy, and Brother T, appreciate you guys having this happen here.
Before we close it out, you want to say something, no? Before we close it out, yeah. But we ain't finished yet, so give me 1 minute. Listen, the last time when I attempted to close out, I wanted to do a minute of silence for Mikey. Now, Mikey was a little youth that ran around in the hood here, ran in town, ran St. George's. He's a good youth. So I just want to give a little bit of honor and respect to 1 minute of silence for Mikey and his family. Peace and blessings. Now, as we started this series, our intentions are to go throughout the island and get different mindsets, different discussions about ending this gang violence. We started here in Somerset, and we're going to make our way through the island. We need your support. We need everybody. This is not just us. It's not just us. It's a Bermuda thing. It's our thing. We can't rely on the government. We can't rely on the system. We have to take back charge of our young man. Try to get to find out different solutions. We need input. We need solutions. We need everybody to join in with us. We're grateful that it started here. We thank these guys that gave us the idea, that were on board with this idea. This has been a part of my heart for a little while because it's sick. It breaks my heart to see young black men being shut down and killed. All of us are related one way or the other. So we're going to need your support. We'll be back maybe around August the 7th, somewhere around that time, because we've got a cup match coming up and we don't want to get anywhere of that. Be safe. Don't drink and drive. Don't drink and drive because that is part of the issue too. Yeah, they say Bermudans like to drink, but it's real bad. We have an issue. We have a bad problem in Bermuda with drinking and driving. So don't drink and drive. And stay tuned and join us again. Peace and blessings.
Put our fists together. You done last time? Yes, my brothers. One love. Yes. One love, brothers. Give thanks, guys, man. Good. Appreciate you guys.
I didn't see it. What happened? What happened was one of the brothers told me what the woman said.